What is going on, guys? Welcome to Greggles TV. In this video, we're going to talk about the OnePlus Open, also known as the OnePlus Fold, and the concerns that I have with this phone. No phone is perfect. You can't find any phone right now on the market that is completely perfect and checks all the boxes. So the OnePlus Open, obviously for me, has some concerns, and I assume some of you guys have some of these concerns, if not more than me as well. So I've compiled a list of things that make me wonder, especially before the phone's actually launched, and these might end up becoming true concerns as well as the phone nears launch. Now, the official launch for this should be August 29th in New York, and then release date will most likely happen in early to mid-September, somewhere in that time frame. Now, before we get into my list, I just want to show you what the specs are. You can see the specs are spec-heavy specs, especially for a modern day phone like it is right now. It basically checks all the boxes. So where do the concerns arise from? Well, the first one for me is camera. It's really probably, to be honest with you, my only main concern. I have a list, and I think most of these lists will be things that you're concerned with. But for me, really, if I had one thing that really stands out to me, the main concern for me on this phone is the camera. You can look at the cameras on there being 48 megapixel cameras and 64 megapixel telephoto and 32 megapixel and 20 megapixel front facing cameras on the inner and outer screens. And you're like, dude, that sounds amazing. The problem is you can have as high a megapixel as you want, or as low, well, I shouldn't say as low, but you can have them really high, and you might not still get the best photos. You know, I look at me really loving Pixel Fold cameras, and they don't have the highest megapixels, but they take beautiful photos. Samsung has really high megapixels, and they take great photos at times, but sometimes it's a little blurry, especially if it's of a person and they're a kid and they're moving around a little bit. So there's things that are to be concerned with, and OnePlus has never been known to have the best cameras of a smartphone. So when I want a folding phone, personally, I want that phone to be my everything, and that's why I love, currently anyway, the Pixel Fold, because it checks almost all the boxes that are important to me, one of them being great cameras. So I'm really hoping that they have put some great algorithms and AI software into the development of how these photos come out and look, and videos and all that stuff. So really hoping forward to that. We'll see what happens, but that is it's probably my personal main concern about this phone. Next would be dust and water resistance. From that list you can see right there, it mentions nothing of water or dust resistance. Now, those aren't necessarily much needed. If you're not going swimming, or you're not falling in the toilet, or falling in the tub, or falling in the water, or falling somewhere that this phone would get damaged, you'll probably be fine. I had a Galaxy Z Fold 2 that had no water resistance, and that was absolutely fine. This, I would expect, if it doesn't have any like submergible water or dust resistance, I would still expect it to have some kind of like, oh, it can handle the rain, or it can handle a splash of water, something like that. But full on dust and water resistance, probably not. Dust resistance, most likely, totally no. Water resistance, like an IPX7 or IPX8, something like that. It wouldn't surprise me if it had it, but it also wouldn't surprise me if it didn't. That way they can cut some costs with the phone. A third concern is pen support. You know, people that have the Samsung Galaxy Z Fold line, especially the 4 and then the 5 coming out, love having the ability to write on the phone with their S Pen. Now, will this phone have pen support? It might not. It depends if they want to go that route, if they want to cut costs, if they want to keep it in line with the Oppo series, potentially they will. It all depends on that. They haven't been known to have a lot of pens on their devices, so we'll wait and see if they end up doing this or not. But that would be a concern, I think, for some people, not me, but for some people, where they would want the pen support, and that would be a no-go if it didn't on the folding phone. Another one of my concerns is, and it's kind of always been a concern with OnePlus phones, is brightness of the display. They don't have overly super bright displays, at least from what I've played with in the past. It kind of goes along with the way Google Pixel does it. It's like at 50%, it's not bright enough for me. At 70%, it's getting there, but maybe not so much. But at 80, 90, 100%, it's pretty much fine. And folding phones still aren't the brightest displays overall. And the OnePlus Fold, or OnePlus Open, or whatever you want to call it, still, I assume, probably won't have a super bright display on the phone. Again, I'm doing this recording before they actually announce the phone, so we'll have to wait and see if that changes, but that is one of my concerns, is that the displays on the inside and outside just won't be as bright as I had wished. Just like any folding phone, build quality. How is the build quality gonna hold up from, opening and closing this phone? Is it gonna wear out over time? Is it gonna break? Is the screen gonna malfunction? Folding phones have so many moving parts that you have to be concerned with something like that on the OnePlus Open, because I'm concerned with it on the Pixel Fold, on the Galaxy Folds. I always get insurance at this point, so if I end up getting this phone, there's a high probability I'll probably also get the insurance, so that if the phone does break because of myself or under warranty, which it would be covered and I wouldn't have to pay anything, I still want to have that peace of mind instead of having to pay hundreds and hundreds, maybe even $1,000 to get it fixed. The next one is wireless charging. Will it have wireless charging? I don't know. It doesn't show it right there, so I'm assuming probably not. It would also allow them to keep the cost down. Removing certain features that aren't super important help drive costs down and allow us to get a product that is more economical in buying. And I'm fine with that. I'm not a big wireless charger, especially on my phone, and you can't really wirelessly charge when you put a handle, a grip on the back of the phone all the time. So that's another reason I don't really mind not having wireless charging. So I know that'll be a concern for some folks, and it is something to keep our eyes on. The last one being price. What is the price actually going to be? Is it going to be inexpensive? Is it going to be, and when I say inexpensive, is it going to be $1,500, or is it going to be, $1,700, $1,800, up to $2,000 for this phone because of the amazing specs that it has? This is a phone that is literally, that I can see right now, the best spec folding phone to have, from the displays that it has, the refresh rate, the processor, the RAM, the storage isn't the highest amount, but it's still a good amount. The battery, the fast charging, it has the cameras, it has everything spec-wise that you would want. And the price might be scary, but OnePlus is known to not have the highest prices. They're kind of somewhere above average, but not near the premium price tier that a lot of the other companies have. So I do have some hopeful thoughts that this is going to be priced at $1,500. I'll probably be wrong, but we'll definitely keep our eye on that. It could be a concern that it'll most likely have a high price. I want to throw it back to you guys. What are your concerns about the OnePlus Open, aka OnePlus Fold? Let me know in the comments down below. Thanks for watching. Have a great day, and we'll see you down the road. Peace.